We,
Sohnia,
and Jaanuni are a couple of pals studying science in undergrad. We are not professionals.
though every episode is meticulously researched, mistakes do happen.
If you notice that anything,
And we mean anything.
we state is inaccurate, please let us know.
Your comments, suggestions, and queries are important in furthering our personal and audience's understanding of science.
Thanks for being a part of this discussion.
We appreciate you.
We really do.
Bop bop, beep bop bop.
Hello? Oh, are we recording?
Yeah, now we are.
Okay, hello?
Probably only got the hello. Okay, wait.
Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of Beaker Bros.
I'm Sohnia,
I'm Jaanuni.
and we're Beaker Bros.
Why? Oh, I was gonna say, do you want to explain why we're Beaker Bros? We're wait, what is
Oh,
how does it go again?
We haven't done this in a while. We drink out of beakers.
Because we're bros.
Clink.
Clink.
Anyways, how have you been, Jaanuni? It's been a little while since putting out an episode.
Yes, I want to say a good month or so.
Yeah.
Tired, let's be real. With the new year,
The new year,
new habits.
new habits. Yeah. What a segue. Do you want to dive into what we're talking about here?
Yeah, as I said, I have new habits I had to form this new year. I think everyone knows about the new year. We have new resolutions, and as
New year, new me.
exactly, as easy it is to say we have, these new year resolutions, there's a lot of stuff that go behind creating a habit, creating a resolution, and
The psychology of it.
perhaps the psychology of habits, which is this week's episode. We're just gonna kind of delve into what a habit is, the different aspects of it, because I know there's a lot of theories of like, you just need this and this to have a habit formed, or you need to be consistent by this many days for a habit to be formed. And we're just gonna try to like talk about the research and what we've kind of found and discovered.
Yeah. So I guess just to start off a little bit with defining what a habit is. So according to according to an article by Gardner and Rebar, I believe their name is, that was published in 2019, they define the word habit in pretty simple terms. And quote, let me just read it here. They say that habits are action associations learned through prior performance. And these habits or these actions can become habitual behavior when regulated by an impulsive process. So it's really like the innate desire to do something with minimal cognitive effort, awareness, control, or initiation.
So to kind of more like break down what you said, so with a habit, it definitely includes, there's 4 different components to start a habit. So you have the cue, you have the craving, you have the response, and the reward. So there's really 4 different parts just for a habit to form. And with that, you actually create a habit loop, which is essentially describing several related elements that produce habits. So these elements have been called the cue, as I mentioned before, or trigger, the routine, or the behavior, and then the reward. So let's take an example of stress could serve as a cue that a person responds to by eating or smoking or drinking, which then produces the rewards such as the reduction of stress, at least like in the moment. And then you have that habit where, again, you have stress and then you either eat, smoke, or drink or whatever to get that same reward. It's all, again, like conditioning, like what we've learned about classical conditioning. There's a part of it where you have the conditioned stimulus, unconditioned stimulus, and then you have the conditioned response and the unconditioned response. Over time, these habits may be, if you were able to associate a specific trigger to the conditioned stimulus you want, that's how you can form a habit as well.
I have a quick question about that. So I'm reading a little bit more from the article I pulled up, and it says, blah, 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 regulation of action becomes detached from motivation or violation of control. So does that, or not violation, I can't say the words. It's a hard word for Elmo.
It's a big word for Elmo.
But just to ignore that word, I guess, it becomes detached from motivation or control. So it's not really like having the desire to do it, but it's more so like to
instinctive at one point.
Yeah, to like subdue a feeling or action that you want to like achieve or like minimize.
Say that again.
So it's like the process or the action isn't done for like an intrinsic desire, but more so from the motivational standpoint to like subdue like a stressor or like achieve some sort of goal in the end.
So like more of an external stimuli?
Yeah, that's
okay. No,
yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
I mean, there could be like intrinsic.
There could be. There is definitely like we don't know what the reward is for it. Like different people could be like different things, right? We have also there's the difference of like having a habit versus a repeated routine, like a routine, which is basically how a routine involves repeated behavior. But it's not, like you said, it's a routine is not an ingrained impulse, so it's not automatic. While you have something as a habit, which is more like you do it right away. Yeah. So you might wash the dishes every day. You might go to the gym without feeling the like an impulse to it. So like you were saying, like it's like the extrinsic. Oh my god, that's a big word for sorry. It's like more an external like motivation for something to do it automatically. But a routine is like you feel like you need to do those things.
So now another question I have: can habits or are all habits good, or is there like inherently some like action? Or what am I trying to say? Like, for example, people can have habits of, like, biting their nails or, like, being like me. Or, like,
as I'm biting my nail right now.
Or, like, procrastination or being a workaholic. Like, some of them have good outcomes for you, but, like, are they ultimately bad? Like, habits?
There's definitely bad habits, like smoking, right? Smoking itself. It's like...
Like, are there good habits, though?
Yeah, for sure. It's like... I was going to say, it's like me waking up at 7 a.m. I don't do that like impulsively. It's stuff like as in...
But then is that a routine or a habit?
Yeah, so if let's say my body naturally wakes up at 7 a.m., there's some sort of cue that has been triggered for me to wake up at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Or even your alarm could itself be a cue. It is very much like an impulsive thing. But let's say me going, like, if I am thinking, oh, I want to go to the gym today, but I go to the gym every day at 7 p.m., right? I'm really thinking like, okay, I have to go to the gym. That's like a routine because you're repeating the behavior. But let's say just something instinctively, like I'm trying to think.
Like, if I may try to give a comment here. So, like, you could have the motivation to go to the gym because you want to, like, look a certain way or, like, have a certain health outcome. But, like, it becomes a habit, I guess, when, like, you need to go. Like, it fulfills some sort of, like, tick, I guess, or maybe not tick isn't the right word, but like
you're still like it's not impulsive. Like you going to the gym, there's a lot of thought process behind that, right?
So I guess there's a difference between like need and want when it comes to habits. Is that fair? Because like
yes and no. Okay, so here's a better thing. Okay. It's like so you come home from work, right? And without you realizing, let's say you're a runner, so you run every day once you come back from work. You pick up your shoes without even thinking about it, and you're like, you proceed to go up and like change or like something. Or like that's like something you don't like think about it.
So it's like complete detachment, you just do it. That's a habit.
Do it, yes.
Okay.
But a routine is like me thinking, okay, you're driving back home, you're like, okay, I have to get my running shoes, gotta get dressed. Like if you put from my understanding, if you put any thought process behind that, that's a routine.
Okay.
Yes.
I got you.
Or even or like when you buckle your seatbelt when you get into a car, right? Like
it's just like
you just do it, right? You don't think about it. You just like there's no actual like what's that word? Like apparent, obvious thought that's going between that. Sorry, conscious thoughts that are occurring.
Okay.
So it's more. I want to say habits are more unconscious.
Gotcha.
Yes. So us going to the gym is not a habit. It's just a routine.
Routine. Got it.
Let me see. There's other questions. Why are habits so hard to break? Like again, biting nails. Like there's a habit I have where like I've been playing with my hair since I've been a child. Like I don't even realize I'm doing it.
You just kind of like
I just twirl it. I'm just like it's just something I've always been doing. I don't really care to break the habit because I'm like it's just me playing my hair. There's no harm that's really occurring. But I guess in situations where like professional situations, I'm talking to someone and I'm just like I'm twirling my hair or like I'm just playing with it because it's just like for me when I am playing with my hair, it's just me thinking about something or like I'm actually like I'm invested in whatever conversation I'm having. So it's just like my form of like okay, like it's me trying to, I guess in a way, center my thoughts. Like, and that's my explanation.
It's like some people, maybe I'm like not understanding, so if I'm putting words in your mouth, let me know.
Yes.
But like for me, I have a tendency like when I'm mid-thought to just like put my hand on my chin and just like do that as like a way of thinking. Even though it's not involved in the thinking process, I just sort of like do that.
Yeah. Because it's just like something, it's like a habit almost, right? Because you have like some sort of cue that's been consistent every single time. Like maybe you thinking, like the amount of like effort you're putting into thinking, and you're like, and then maybe that helps facilitate a certain response. Yeah. And then you have that reward of like answering a question. But so why are habits so hard to break? Again, it could be simply because a person may not be fully aware of their habit, since habits are built to make things happen without like us even thinking much about it. So basically, consciously intervening in one's own habitual behavior can like, it just won't come naturally. Like, so breaking a habit actually requires consideration and effort. It's like things like again, I didn't realize I played with my hair until someone goes, I don't really remember who. They're like, oh, you know, like, why do you always play with your hair? Or like, like they would be like,
I noticed that in conversation. Like it's like
you do. So like I didn't realize I did that until someone pointed it out. Right. So very much I could have gone 21 years of my life until no one pointed it out, because it was just something I just did. Right. So to break it, it's like, okay, I'm aware. Now maybe I could break it by being like, okay, wait, I'm touching my, okay, let's just put my hands away. That kind of thing. So habits are hard to break because you're not aware that it is a habit. So even like with people smoking, like you would think that's like how you're not aware that you're smoking. So my dad's a smoker, and with him, like he'll like be doing something and he'll just pick up a cigarette without realizing. And then it's like, Dad, why are you like smoking? And he's like, wait, what? He doesn't even realize it. Like it just comes naturally. So even like aspects like that, it's like, while it may seem like it's a conscious thought, it's very much like it becomes unconscious to people.
I feel like the way that it sounds, like breaking habits are something that are just like, it's uncomfortable to do it, which is why people like choose not to. Like even if it's the smallest thing, like the fact that you have to think about it is more work than, you know, just doing it naturally, I guess.
Yes. What was I gonna say? Okay, there's a book that I was reading that was called The Power of Habit. It's by Charles Duhigg.
She's a woman that can read.
It's basically a New York Times reporter who published this back in like 2012. It's a really good book. It's called The Power of Habit: Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business, which I think is a really good read. Like it's very it's written, like, it may seem like a self-help book, but it's written in a way where it like has a lot of anecdotes and examples to really illustrate the author's points, and it gets the point across. So there's one point where he's talking about the golden rule of habit change, and it basically is talking about how to stop addictive habits and replace them with new ones. So you can't necessarily get rid of a habit, but you can replace it with something else.
Oh,
if that makes sense. So you can still have the initial cue or whatever, but you have to replace that routine, replace that response, but you keep that reward.
That's so interesting. No wonder, like, I don't know if this is, like, necessarily a common thing, but I've heard that, like, oftentimes a lot of addicts, they become, like, when they're trying to get off of, like, whatever addiction they have, they start going to the gym. And I guess that sort of, like, feeds into the, what's it called? Like, the rewards.
The habit loop?
Yeah,
like the whole like the cue response. Cue, routine, reward.
Yeah.
What am I saying? I got that mixed up.
Yes, the reward aspect
cue,
of it.
Cue, craving, response, reward.
Yeah.
There we go.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's like at least one theory. I definitely agree that in psychology of habits, there's different like aspects of it. Like there's things of like people are like, oh, doesn't it take this many days for a habit to form? And they would think like if you do this every single day, it becomes like a habit. But honestly, like,
because you had that with running, right?
Yeah, I had that with running. Like when I started running, like it was very conscious, right? Like, I'm like, I have to get out there and run every single day. It probably wasn't until like, for me personally, until like the 30-day mark where it just became, I would come home from work and just instantly go running. Like I wouldn't, like, it's just like, it's
drop
just,
your shit and
literally, like I would just like put it on, put my shoes on, my ankle brace, all that stuff, and I would just go running, and it just became like a habit. And then when I had to stop running, it felt really like something was missing, and then I had to like actually I had to replace it with something else because it felt like there's an aspect like it just felt off. So I would start exercising and I would get the same reward of like feeling good.
Uh-huh.
Like there's I don't know what the physiological aspects of me.
Some sort of like chemical whatever is released.
So I'm still getting that same effect of like when I would run. But I just had to change that routine instead.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like running, I would go to the gym.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's exactly a habit, but that's how I was able to break that habit.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't want to break.
Yeah.
So,
like
but
you got the reward through another means.
So yeah. But again, like to break a habit, you have to put it has to be more conscious, and you have to put consideration and effort into it. But there's no like standardized like this is how many days you have to do something for it to be a habit. There's this article basically that's saying that the bottom line is that it can take anywhere between 18 to 254 days.
Yikes.
Like that's like to form a new habit, and on average for 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. So you have to like, there's the habit, but then there's also the habit of the behavior being automatic.
That's,
right?
Yeah, like imagine, no wonder it's so tough for like alcoholics or anyone with addiction to break it, because not only are you like is that time component, but it's also like all the withdrawal symptoms that come with it.
Exactly.
That are trying to like push you to go back to the addiction that you had.
Exactly. So it's essentially there's like no one size that fits all figure for like how like the time frame, and like the time frame is so broad because some habits are just easier to form than others, and some people might find it easier to develop new behaviors. So again, like breaking something like an addiction or like trying to replace that with another habit, it will take a while because those are harder habits to form. Hence why there's such a broad time frame. So again, there's no right or wrong timeline. It's just really just figuring out what works for you. So you constantly again like put motivation. Like if you really want to form a habit, you have to put in the effort.
Interesting. One thing I want to ask: have you ever had to break like a tough habit to break? Like I know you said your running thing, but how have you overcome that?
I can't think of anything on top of my mind. How about you though?
No, I haven't.
No,
not at all. Which is why I asked, because like I have a pretty bad habit biting my nails, but like I've never been able to get like I've tried. Like I remember when I was younger. I mean, like I'm sure if I truly wanted to, I could. But I remember my parents would like, or my mom, she would put like this certain type of nail polish where if I bite it, it would taste like absolutely terrible.
Oh my God.
But she stopped because it really annoyed me. But like I still bite my nails till this day.
I had a habit of biting my nails when I was younger, and then my mom would put like lemon on my hands before I would go to sleep, so I wouldn't bite at them. But I very much stopped biting my nails. One, because I was like, I got like really like not insecure. But I was like, my nails look so ugly.
Yeah,
because they're
that's
so
me
short.
right now. That's why I just like
you're like, anyways, it's in the pocket. But then I started getting my nails done, and once I started getting my nails done, there was some part of me that was like, I paid for this. Why am I biting?
like,
them?
why am I gonna waste my money?
Literally, and I actually stopped. Like when I would get my nails done, I just stopped basically biting my nails because there's like I think because there was a conscious aspect to it of like, wait, don't do that. You just got them done. And it wasn't the same, like, I guess, taste to biting my nails that I was just like, wait, this is off. And then I would, like, I somehow stopped it.
So I guess the lesson learned from that, if you're biting your nails or have any sort of habit,
Get
just
your
stop.
nails done. Oh.
That too.
Just stop.
Just
it's
stop.
not that hard.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No,
you're fine.
It can be very hard at times.
Yep. Hence, I've been biting my nails for, like, 17 years.
Yeah. It just depends on, like, how ingrained that habit is into you, right? Yeah. Which is, again, fair, so you have to, like, figure it out. What was I gonna say? Oh, you were mentioning about the, like, if you have an addiction to alcohol and stuff. So fun fact about, like, Alcoholics Anonymous. So this was actually, there's this dude named Bill Wilson who was essentially a recovering alcoholic, but who's, like, basically his faith in Christ, like, basically not believing,
like religion?
Religion, yes. Having his faith in, like, the Christian religion basically led him to create AA.
Oh, interesting.
Which is kind of, like, cool because he essentially, that goes back to the whole, like, breaking the habit. He was able to keep the initial cue but replace the routine to have the same reward.
Okay.
But yeah, it's so great.
It's interesting histories.
Yeah. It's interesting to see, like, what it started off and, like, what it is now, which I think is really cool. Are
you working on any habits?
Either
setting or breaking?
Forming a habit. I want to, like, I've been wanting to go on a hike every week, but now that we've had the discussion of a habit, I don't think that's a habit. And that's more of like a routine, right?
Well, hey, if you ever want to go on a hike, let me know.
I will.
I will.
It's just been snowing quite
It has
often.
been. It's been cold.
Yeah, it's been cold. I want to get back into running, of course.
I need to get running shoes. I need to bring
You
them to
need to bring
Hamilton.
them to Hamilton. How are you? Any habits you want to specifically form?
I want to start being active again. I've been such a couch potato. I hate it.
I know what you mean.
Like, God.
I didn't get to work out today, but I was like in D-back basically watching people work out, and I went, like I had this like, you know that feeling of when I actually work out? I got that by just watching other people work out. And I was like,
Like, you felt huge by seeing them.
Yeah, like I just felt good
Yeah.
by watching people working out, and I went, I want to work out. Like I had that craving, so that's part of the the habit loop. You know, the whole cue. So probably the cue is like seeing the gym. The craving is I want to work out. The response is me working out. The reward is me getting huge.
You can't see me now, but I'm flexing.
Oh, she's too huge, too huge.
Massive.
But I think that's it for this week's episode. As for your habits to our listeners, let us know.
Yeah, let us know what you're addicted to. You can DM us or comment below.
We will also be asking our housemates about their habits, so check out that post.
Yeah. Well, until then, until next episode,
Bye!
bye.